All right, today let's address the elephant in the room. And what exactly is it? It's me. That's right. I want to talk about fatness. There's a lot of reasons people look the way they do. Genetics are a bitch for some people. Even for people who are too skinny, or they feel too skinny and they have no control of that. High metabolism, not relating to thyroid. The weird standards set by the media, the cookie cutterness of these unattainable goals of, the airbrushing that's gone on in magazines, movies, movie posters, just basically every form of media we're exposed to. Every other minute of every day, something's shoved in our face, some standard to live up to. That's impossible to meet. It's not possible. Even the people in the photographs are not as perfect as they look because they've been painted. The goals out there have been set. Mark my word, it's not a conspiracy theory. They exist to make you buy shit nonstop to try to achieve a goal you will never, ever achieve. Okay? There are those rare, ultra rare, perfect people, perfect looking people. No one's perfect. They luck out, man. It's a crap roll of the dice. Egg, sperm, millions of those. Who gets there first? Boom, lucky ass. That's all it is. But this goes back to my post yesterday about seeing people out in public and making snap judgments about them. I think it's unfair to say fat people are lazy. This notion that they sit around stuffing their face all day and just a bunch of slobs and God knows what else. But, yeah, that's probably true for some people. But I think more often than not, you're looking at so many other factors going into the process of creating that unique individual person. It's a lot of times it goes back to, as I said, genetics. People who are predisposed to weight gain have slower metabolisms than others. On top of that, growing up in families where, fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy slung across the dining room table every night, a diet they've had all their life. They're trained to desire the flavors, fat, salt, sugar, all the things that enhance flavors. It was a norm in the family. And you can line a group of people up and look at them from the back, and you can go ding, 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 ding. All 5 of them are related based on their shape, how they gain, where they gain it. Laziness, I don't buy into that one too much either. Aside from the fact that if you look at obesity rates 100 years ago, guess what? They weren't like they are now, but people didn't sit around watching TV. They didn't have drive-thrus. They had to work from the minute they woke up to the minute they went to bed to survive. I mean, I had my grandparents ate lard fucking sandwiches and homemade apple pies, There was a lot of gravy going on, but there was also, for the generations a couple before that one, constant movement, chopping wood for a fireplace and doing laundry, doing your wash by hand and running it through ringers and holy shit, those motherfuckers never got a break. That's all I'm saying. And then the kids, entertainment-wise, they didn't sit down in front of a TV, in front of a video game, in front of the internet. Hello, internet. Hi. Huh? Don't say anything. But, they ran the street, kicked the can, whatever, rode their bikes all over the neighborhood. I did that when I was a kid. I didn't have a weight problem to speak of until I had my first child. And, that was a pain in the ass for me too, because suddenly I felt sick all the time. And I'll tell you what, man, I had a thing with carbohydrates that was out of the park. I don't know what it was. I could eat a bagel. Oh, I felt better. Didn't feel like I was going to puke constantly. And that would last for an hour, maybe 2 if I got lucky. So I was a bread machine. It was fucking ridiculous. But I had the baby lost the weight. All good. Did that a few more times. The real problem came 12 years ago, I used to have really bad allergies when I was a kid. And it was the typical seasonal stuff. It was just hay fever in the summer. The other 3 seasons of the year, it was virtually fine. But as I grew older, just it started to invade across all the parameters into all the seasons. And the things I was allergic to started to multiply. It has gotten so bad at this point that I can't eat food that comes out of a can or a box. I can't eat any fruit that grows off a tree. I have to watch out for bees and wasps and all that general crap people talk about. Certain tree nuts. Basically, to be and look the way I do, to be the weight that I am, for a person that eats kind of like all those caveman diets tell you to. Like this morning, I had oatmeal, soy milk. Lunch, I just ate a cup of plain rice. That was my lunch today. But the factor that I have to struggle with now, and as an adult with a slower metabolism, is that I can't do anything. I'm immobilized by these allergies because they no longer come out as sneezing, sniffly nose, itchy red out, watery eyes, all that shit you can take Benadryl for. That condition changed to something called pressure urticaria, which is weird and rare, and it's just a shit roll of the dice. But the allergies come out in my skin and my joints, even like my internal organs, and constant acid issues. Even drinking a glass of water can give me heartburn. So, there's a lot of individual stories and traumas that go into why people are the way they are, on top of the fact that, generally as a society, we don't have to work as hard. And, it's fine and good and dandy that there's a lot of people that could get out there and change what they're eating and start moving their ass. Because honestly, the gimmicks, the fucking diet industry should be ashamed of itself, flat out ashamed of itself. There's no cheating. There's no getting around it. You're going to go hungry and you're going to move your ass. That's the only two things. The problem for me is that I can't move my ass. I spend 2 hours on my feet in a day, and I can spend the next 2 days tucked into the sofa taking liquid drugs because I'm allergic to the kind that come in the tablets because of the powders. I'm fucked all around. I can't even take antihistamines. That's a whole story. I probably could say more since I've given you the story, but anyway, skip it. Just understand that it doesn't work the same way for all people. And to make this assumption, I've gotten dirty looks in public, and I'm not that big. I'm 5'5" for all intents and purposes, 200-ish pounds. But there's these people running around 400, 500, 700 pounds, taking up the bench seat on the bus. And I understand why people look. It's fear more than anything. It's fear. I think fear is a huge driving factor. Again, to the post yesterday, why people want to appear to be like really cool, and then they push against the nerdy, the awkward, the socially unacceptable to them people, is that we associate with things we're afraid of. We don't like things in other people that we fear in ourselves. So knowing that, I've gotten the dirty looks in public. Can't remember the last time someone asked me on a date, and frankly, I'm awesome, even if I have a big butt, whatever. But yeah, fat in America. There's lots of it. A lot of the arguments I'm making fall apart under the notion that, it's expanding as a national level problem. And, I get it. Too much Taco Bell and not enough walking around the block. Duh. Everybody fucking knows that, though. Everybody knows that. So, the public shaming. The diet industry. Holy shit, man. Backseat some of that crap. Focus on the fact that There's too much, there's the chemicals and the fat in the, it's not even about a fat-free diet anymore. Fat-free diet made people fat. I'm convinced of that. It's another thing you can say there's a conspiracy theory there. But 20 years ago, when everybody said, Susan Powter came along and said, stop eating fat in your food, or all these dicks that came along, eat fat-free. The people started shoving themselves full of foods that were phony. And they took out the fat and they used all kinds of salt and sugar and phony-ass chemicals to replace it. And guess what? Everyone got fatter. Heart disease is worse now than it was 20 years ago when they told you to stop eating fat to prevent heart disease. See, the trouble is, don't eat eggs. They're full of cholesterol. Eggs are bad. Now eggs are fine, right? So, basically stop listening to everyone. Basically just fucking stop, man. Eat whole foods. Shop the outer rim of the grocery store. Stay away from the aisles where all the cans and the boxes and the dry goods, the bullshit. Forget about it, unless you're going in there to get some brown rice. Otherwise, meat, fruit, vegetable, some dairy. If you're into that kind of thing, I just don't, I go for the soy milk. But, Greek yogurt, all protein, very good. But anyway, get the real butter to cook with. Skip the margarine. It's like a molecule away from being plastic or something. Don't put that shit in your body. Stop putting baby oil on your babies. It's made from petroleum. I mean, people don't think. It's crazy shit. But anyway, so I just want the internet to know that I realize I have a weight problem. And I expect at some point, if I keep doing this YouTube channel, people will come along and there's going to be that one asshole who says, shut up, you're fat. As if somehow that's going to shame me into silence. Like I am somehow invalid as a human being because I have a weight issue. Or, I'm going to crawl back into my shell and, oh no, someone called me a name, I die. I don't give a shit. I don't give a rat's ass. And frankly, I don't see it as any different than shaming women into silence. Like the fucking Taliban, not letting them learn to read or write, the shut up thing. You don't have an opinion. You're not valid. Okay? People will glom onto any excuse they can to invalidate people when they have an opinion, when they try to have a voice, when they have something to say. The quickest way to shut someone up is to shame them. So I just want everybody to know it's not going to happen here. This elephant is not leaving the room. But yeah, I'm glad we got to chat about the subject because it goes back to the bully episode where when you see someone walking down the street who's got a weight problem, don't make the assumption that they're fucking lazy and they sit around eating bonbons, watching soap operas, and they don't have a life. I mean, give them the benefit of the doubt until you have the information because you never know why people are the way they are, why they look the way they do. Yeah, some people hitting the fast food too much and sitting in a cubicle all day. There's room for improvement, obviously. But don't make assumptions, okay? Because you don't have the whole story. I always go back to that. Get the information first. Knowledge is power. It helps you make informed choices. On that note, that's about all I have to say. So, the other thing, new information comes along. This is totally a tangent. It's an add-on. This is like the PS on the whole video. Cavemen, thousands of years ago, whatever, they're finding out that there are genes and things that settle in your brain that make people forage more and store more than other people. And I just want the skinny people to know, 10,000 years ago, you would have died in the middle of winter and I would have outlived your ass had the bees not stung me and killed me first. There you have it. Have a nice day.